Beloved, stop everything for one breath. There is a stirring moving through the unseen, and it has been brushing against your spirit long before this moment found you. Something sacred has been unfolding around your life, quiet yet undeniable, like a shift in the atmosphere you cannot name, but you can feel pulsing beneath your ribs. Chosen one, this is not coincidence. This is not a passing curiosity. Heaven has aligned this exact second with precision, because what God is about to speak over your life is bigger than you realize. Take a slow breath and let your heart open. There is a holy weight resting on this moment, a sense that the veil between the seen and unseen has thinned just enough for truth to cross through. You did not arrive here by accident. The Spirit has been drawing you, pulling you gently toward clarity, toward revelation, toward the breakthrough season you have been sensing but could not articulate. Hear this. You have been walking under a divine appointment, even in the days where confusion clouded your thoughts, even when questions pressed heavy on your chest, even when loneliness settled at the edge of your bed. Heaven was writing something on your timeline, something that carries destiny alignment, something woven with purpose that stretches beyond what your eyes can see. Beloved soul, God has been preparing you for a shift that will touch every corner of your life. Not merely to give comfort, not merely to soothe your wounds, but to awaken the wealth mindset He planted within you before you ever took your first breath. This is the hour where hidden things begin to surface, where long-buried promises rise again with fresh authority. It is written in Jeremiah 29:11, "For I know the plans I have for you, plans to give you a future and a hope." That word is not distant. It is breathing over you right now. Chosen one, the pressure you've felt lately has not been punishment. It has been preparation. The tension, the stretching, the unexpected shifts in your relationships and inner world have been shaping you for a revelation of divine purpose. You've been stepping through a spiritual awakening without even realizing it. God has been enlarging your capacity, clearing out old cycles, breaking emotional heaviness, and rebuilding your spirit so you can carry what comes next. And hear me clearly. The blessing forming around your life is not small. It is not ordinary. It is not something the enemy can dilute or delay. It is bigger than confusion, bigger than fear, bigger than your past, bigger than the limitations spoken over you. Isaiah 43:19 declares, "Behold, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs forth." That new thing is closer than your breath. Before we go deeper, pause with me. If your spirit feels that trembling, that uprising of quiet recognition, that is your sign. And beloved, as you feel this sacred shift, take a moment to subscribe, like, and share this message. Not for numbers, but because every time you stay connected to a word aligned with heaven, it strengthens your discernment and keeps your spirit anchored in truth. Chosen one, stay with me. What comes next carries the power to reshape how you see your journey, your purpose, and the calling resting on your life. Do not step away. Let the Spirit settle over you as the revelation unfolds. Chosen one, listen with the deepest part of you. There has been a weight on your spirit these past weeks, a sense that something is shifting beneath the surface, yet you cannot fully grasp its shape. You have felt the pressure pressing in from every direction. Doors that once opened easily have become slow. People you trusted have grown distant. Plans you tried to hold together seem to slip through your hands like water, and still, something inside you refuses to collapse because your spirit knows what your mind has not yet understood. God is moving. Beloved soul, this pressure has not been punishment. It has been divine architecture shaping your future. The wilderness you've walked through, the silence that felt suffocating, the waiting that seemed endless. None of it was wasted. Heaven has been constructing you for a moment of elevation that requires a stronger frame, a clearer mind, and a purified heart. You have been in the refining fires, not the destructive ones. Fires that burn away the excess, fires that separate weight from worth, fires that prepare vessels for abundance. And hear this truth: you have not been delayed, you have been aligned. Every closed door, every unexpected detour, every relationship that fell away was heaven's way of steering you into destiny alignment. God has been clearing the path of anything that would weaken the blessing He is preparing to place in your hands. This is why certain people lost access to your inner world. This is why certain opportunities dissolved. This is why certain feelings you tried to ignore kept resurfacing. None of it was random. All of it was protection. Look closely at the signs around you, the restlessness in your spirit, the sudden urge to clean your environment, organize your thoughts, release old wounds, or revisit forgotten dreams. These are not coincidences. These are signals that your breakthrough season is already unfolding. Psalm 37:23 tells us, "The steps of a good person are ordered by the Lord." Your steps have been guided even when the path felt hidden, even when night after night you wondered if God had forgotten your name. He hadn't. He was rearranging your story. Beloved, some of the emotional heaviness you've carried hasn't even belonged to you. It was residue from people who were not meant to walk into your next chapter. Their doubt, their fear, their insecurity, their limited vision. You absorbed pieces of it without realizing. But God saw it, and He is breaking those attachments now. You are entering a spiritual awakening that will detach you from anything that tries to shrink your destiny. If you've noticed the number 7 appearing, or dreams that feel too vivid to ignore, or sudden waves of intuition you cannot explain, these are heavenly confirmations that what surrounds you is bigger than you realize. Heaven has been signaling that what once resisted, you will soon yield. What once confused you will soon clarify. What once felt impossible will become inevitable. Philippians 1:6 promises, "He who began a good work in you will carry it on to completion." God is finishing what He started. Chosen one, stay close, stay receptive. Because the revelation forming around your life carries the power to shift your finances, your relationships, your purpose, your inner stability, and the very way you walk through the world. This is not about survival anymore. This is transformation. Chosen one, let your heart stay open as the Spirit continues to draw you deeper. There is something unfolding around your life that you have sensed but could never fully describe. A quiet correction in the atmosphere, a subtle pull that feels like both a warning and an invitation. This is heaven adjusting your trajectory. God has been repositioning you with a precision that your emotions struggle to interpret. Every tension you felt, every strange pause in your plans, every moment where you questioned your own strength has been part of a divine recalibration meant to lead you into abundance and stability you once believed were beyond your reach. Beloved soul, think back on the last season. You were stretched in ways that felt unfair. You were pushed into moments where you had to choose between old patterns and new faith. You found yourself walking away from things you once prayed for, not because you changed, but because God revealed the truth behind them. This is what spiritual awakening looks like. It is not always loud. Sometimes it comes in the softest tug, the quietest discomfort, the sudden knowing that you cannot stay where you've been. You felt that nudge because heaven has been preparing you for personal transformation you never imagined you were strong enough to carry. And hear this, nothing from your past season was wasted. Not the heartbreak, not the confusion, not the nights when tears soaked your pillow and your prayers felt unanswered. God collected every tear, every whisper, every unspoken hope. They have become seeds in the soil of your future. Seeds of emotional healing, seeds of elevation, seeds of restoration. Chosen one, you are not stepping into a repeat of an old cycle. You are stepping into a divine acceleration crafted by the hands of the one who knows your end from your beginning. Look at your recent hunger for clarity. Look at the way your spirit has been craving peace, craving direction, craving meaning. That inner longing is not weakness, it is alignment. It is the sound of your purpose awakening. Isaiah 55:11 says, "So shall my word be, it shall not return void." The promises spoken over your life are rising now, resurfacing from places you thought were buried. They are returning with power because your heart is finally prepared to receive them. And beloved, let me tell you something few people recognize about their own journey. You did not stay alive through everything you've endured, only to settle. You are still standing because heaven preserved you for a greater weight of blessing. The shift you're entering is not a small change, it is a divine unveiling. God is bringing you into a season where confusion breaks, where clarity flows like water, where long-stuck areas suddenly move. You will feel it in your finances as doors open that were once locked. You will feel it in your purpose as ideas begin to flow with supernatural clarity. You will feel it in your relationships as God removes the wrong voices and replaces them with those who strengthen your spirit instead of draining it. If you have been waking unexpectedly in the night, if you have been losing interest in old habits, if certain conversations suddenly feel too small for who you are becoming, these are spiritual indicators that the old version of you is dissolving. Heaven is elevating you into a wealth mindset rooted not in greed, but in stewardship, wisdom, and divine identity. God is preparing you to carry more influence, more clarity, more responsibility. The pressure you feel is the stretching required for the next dimension. Chosen one, this is why certain people could not stay. This is why old environments have started feeling uncomfortable. This is why even familiar routines have begun losing their grips. Heaven has been loosening the ties that once kept you small. God is calling you into a higher rhythm, a higher understanding, a higher level of spiritual discernment. What once satisfied you no longer fits because your spirit has outgrown the confines of your past. And hear me. The loneliness you felt was not abandonment. It was separation for preparation. When God isolates you, He is not removing love. He is removing noise. He is clearing space so the next blessing does not suffocate under the weight of distraction. You are not being punished. You are being set apart, refined, protected from connections that would have sabotaged what God is building within you. Beloved soul, stay with me. The revelation still unfolding will explain the delays, the tension, the doors that closed without warning. Heaven is not done speaking. Chosen one, keep your spirit open because what is rising right now is meant to meet you at the deepest point of your journey. There is a quiet unveiling happening around your life, a divine momentum gathering behind the scenes, and even if your mind struggles to comprehend it, your spirit has already begun to respond. You may have noticed the subtle tremors in your atmosphere, the way familiar routines suddenly feel foreign, the way old wounds surface not to torment you but to be released once and for all. This is not regression. This is recalibration for destiny alignment. Beloved soul, for too long you carried weight that did not belong to you. Expectations that were never yours. Labels spoken over you in moments of weakness, doubts planted by people who could not see the magnitude of your calling. You carried their shadows as if they were your own, and heaven watched as you tried to walk with burdens that bent your strength. But hear this with clarity. God is stripping every false burden from your shoulders. What once felt normal will soon feel impossible to tolerate because your spirit refuses to return to cycles that broke you. The unease you've been feeling was heaven's way of loosening the grip of everything that kept you small. You were never meant to shrink to fit into the limited vision others had of you. You were never meant to silence your gifts so others would feel comfortable. You were never meant to hide your light because someone else preferred their shadows. God has been awakening a courage inside you, a boldness you didn't know you possessed, because the season you're entering requires a voice that stands firm, a heart that refuses to fold, and a mind rooted in truth. not fear. And beloved, hear this truth that will settle your soul. The storms you endured were not meant to destroy you. They were meant to baptize you into a new strength. Every heartbreak prepared you to love with discernment. Every disappointment refined your spiritual vision. Every closed door taught you to listen for God's timing instead of chasing what your spirit outgrew. Every setback broke the illusions that once distracted you. Heaven has been shaping you into someone who can carry blessing without losing yourself. Look at the subtle changes in your inner world. Your patience has shifted. Your boundaries have strengthened. Your desire for peace has intensified. You no longer tolerate chaos disguised as connection. You no longer chase validation. You no longer bend to fit someone else's comfort. This is not attitude. This is emotional healing rising in you. This is personal transformation taking root. This is what happens when God prepares someone for elevation. Chosen one, the reason everything feels heavier right now is because the breakthrough forming around you is heavy with glory. The blessing coming is not lightweight. It is not surface level. It is something that will require a new version of you to carry it. God has been fortifying your character, stretching your capacity, strengthening your discernment so that when the doors open, you do not shrink from the magnitude of what was promised. Some of the internal battles you've been fighting were not signs of weakness. They were signs of transition. Your spirit has been wrestling because it knows you cannot walk into your next season with the mindset of the last one. Isaiah 43:19 told you plainly that God is doing a new thing. But what many do not understand is that before the new thing appears around you, it must first awaken within you. That inner breaking, that shedding of old thoughts, that quiet disruption in your peace, those were indicators of divine renovation. Beloved, take a moment and look at how far you've come. You survived storms that should have broken you. You carried responsibilities that would have overwhelmed others. You learned how to pray even when you couldn't find the words. You continued to love despite the wounds, and now heaven is rewarding the resilience you didn't know you possessed. You're entering a season where God restores not just what you lost, but the version of you that was buried beneath pain, disappointment, and survival mode. And chosen one, pause here for a breath. There is something stirring in your atmosphere right now, a thinning of spiritual resistance. And if your heart feels it, good. That is confirmation. I want you to leave a flame in the comments. A simple declaration, I rise now. Let it be your spiritual signal, your agreement with heaven, your bold step into the awakening unfolding around you. Beloved soul, stay close. What is coming next will reveal why the opposition was so intense, why the waiting felt endless, and why heaven moved with such precision to pull you out of certain connections. The revelation ahead holds a depth your spirit has been craving. Chosen one, let your spirit lean in even more, because what is unfolding now reaches into the places you rarely speak of, the hidden corners of your heart where old disappointments settled like dust. There are layers of your story that heaven has been peeling back with tenderness, not to expose your weakness but to reveal your strength. You have endured seasons where the silence felt heavier than any storm, where your prayers echoed back without answers, where you questioned if God still remembered the blueprint of your destiny. Yet something inside you kept moving, kept hoping, kept reaching for light even when darkness pressed close. That persistence was not personality, it was prophecy. Beloved soul, the tension you feel in this hour is the signal of a spiritual threshold. You're standing at the edge of a shift that has been forming for years, long before you understood why certain patterns kept repeating or why certain breakthroughs slipped just out of reach. Heaven has been rearranging the architecture of your path, redirecting you with precision away from traps that look like opportunities, away from connections wrapped in charm but rooted in limitation. You thought you were losing pieces of your life, but in truth, God was removing the stones that would have collapsed under the weight of your calling. And hear this clearly, The warfare you faced was never because you were weak. It was because you are chosen for something that carries weight in the spiritual realm. The resistance around you intensified because the enemy recognized what you were carrying before you recognized it yourself. The confusion you battled, the emotional heaviness that settled without explanation, the sudden waves of fatigue, the feeling of being spiritually pulled in multiple directions. These were indicators of a divine upgrade pushing through the atmosphere. Breakthrough always agitates the shadows before it manifests in the light. Chosen one, look at your journey with honest eyes. You outgrew cycles that once held you captive. You stopped explaining yourself to people committed to misunderstanding you. You no longer internalize the doubts others project onto you. This is not pride, it is healing. It is the restoration of identity. It is the quiet confidence of someone who has walked through darkness and learned how to recognize the sound of truth in their own chest. Heaven has been preparing you for spiritual authority, the kind that does not shout, but shifts atmospheres simply by existing. There is a reason relationships changed so suddenly. There is a reason familiar patterns became unbearable. There is a reason your spirit refused to settle for the crumbs you once accepted. God has been awakening a higher standard in you, not to make you difficult to love, but to make you impossible to misuse. You are stepping into a season where access to your heart becomes sacred ground, where your presence becomes too valuable to be taken lightly, where your discernment becomes a shield that guards what God is planting within you. Beloved, your spirit has been sensing the tremor of elevation even when your mind could not interpret it. You've noticed flashes of clarity at random moments. You've felt sudden bursts of peace in the middle of uncertainty. You've had glimpses of ideas, visions, dreams that feel bigger than anything you have pursued before. These are not fantasies. These are previews of the abundance forming around you. Heaven is aligning your inner world with your outer future, preparing you to carry influence, stability, and purpose without collapsing under the weight of it. And hear this with your whole soul. God is not just restoring what was lost. He is reclaiming the years, the confidence, the energy, the opportunities that were drained by people who mishandled your heart. Your spirit is entering a power it has long been kept from, a clarity that will make the next decisions in your life precise and unshakable. Financial stability is rising. Emotional balance is strengthening. Divine purpose is sharpening. You are not the same as you were even a month ago. Chosen one, breathe slowly. Let this sink in. Because the next layer of this revelation will touch the roots of your destiny, the places where heaven has been carving room for expansion, far greater than your past allowed you to imagine. Chosen one, stay right here with me, because the next wave of what heaven is revealing reaches into the very architecture of your calling. There are movements happening around your life right now that your natural eyes cannot trace, yet your spirit keeps responding to them with a mix of anticipation and pressure. This is the unmistakable sign that God is expanding the borders of your destiny. What once felt distant is drawing near. What once felt impossible is beginning to breathe. What once felt out of reach is shifting into position. Beloved soul, there is a reason you've been feeling that inner stretching. Your capacity is growing, not because you forced it, but because God has been enlarging the territory of your influence. You may not have seen the full picture yet, but in the unseen realm, angels have been clearing pathways that were blocked for years. Strategies are being rearranged, opportunities are being redirected, resources are being aligned with your name marked on them. Heaven has been orchestrating a network of divine connections that will meet you exactly at the threshold of your next season. But hear this with clarity. Expansion always arrives with shaking. You have been feeling that shaking, the uneasiness, the sudden distance between you and people you once leaned on. The shift in conversations that used to feel comforting but now feel too small for where you're going. These are markers of transition. God is detaching you from what cannot follow you into your elevation. Not everyone who walked with you in the desert is meant to sit with you in abundance. The pruning is not punishment. It is preparation. Chosen one, think about the recurring thoughts that have been surfacing, ideas that feel too bold, dreams that feel too vivid, desires that once scared you but now feel strangely possible. Those are not random. Those are blueprints. Heaven has been awakening the creativity He placed in you before your birth. Creativity tied directly to your divine purpose. You are stepping into a version of yourself who no longer carries a survival mindset, but one aligned with spiritual abundance, clarity, and courage. And beloved, notice how your discernment has sharpened. You are seeing through words faster. You are sensing energy shifts before they manifest. You are recognizing hidden motives with ease. This is not paranoia. This is spiritual maturity rising in you. God is training your intuition to perceive beyond surface-level information so you can walk in authority, not confusion. You are no longer blind to what drains you. You are no longer blind to what distracts you. You are no longer blind to what delays you. This is freedom taking shape inside your soul. Some days, you may have felt overwhelmed by this inner transformation, as if pieces of your identity were rearranging faster than you could keep track. That is normal for chosen ones stepping into destiny alignment. You are shedding the outdated layers of your past self. You are stepping out of emotional patterns that served you once but cannot accompany you into your calling. You are outgrowing cycles you prayed to escape for years without knowing the answer would come through your own rebirth. Beloved, look at the spiritual signs. Around you, the repeated numbers, the sudden quiet in your spirit, the moments where peace sits heavy on you for no apparent reason. These are confirmations. They signal that heaven is not just moving in your favor, it is positioning you at the center of a divine convergence. Everything you survived was preparation for the magnitude of what you are about to walk into. Nothing was wasted. Not one tear, not one delay, not one unanswered question. Hear this deeply. You are approaching a turning point where clarity will rush in like a river. Patterns that confused you will finally make sense. Doors that stayed closed for years will swing open without resistance. Your destiny is not unfolding slowly. It is accelerating. Every limitation that once surrounded you is being dismantled piece by piece. God is making room for the next dimension of your assignment. And chosen one, before we go further into what heaven is unveiling, I want you to pause for a breath. And if your spirit is catching fire at these words, if you feel something awakening in you, leave a declaration in the comments. I claim my breakthrough. Let it echo through your atmosphere. Let it rise as agreement. Beloved soul, there is more. The revelation still ahead will illuminate why the path was so narrow, why the warfare lingered, and why your spirit has been rising even in moments your strength felt small. Chosen one, stay present, because what we are stepping into now is the layer of revelation that explains the very battles you thought were meaningless. There are truths heaven has guarded until your spirit was strong enough to hold them, truths that illuminate why certain seasons in your life felt like spiritual contradictions. Moments when your faith was high, yet progress was slow. Moments when your heart was pure, yet betrayal came anyway. Moments when you poured out love, yet received silence in return. These were not failures. These were indicators that heaven was protecting something sacred inside you that the enemy hoped to dull, distort, or dismantle. Beloved soul, the intensity of your warfare was never random. It was targeted. It was deliberate. The adversary recognized the potential written over your life long before you did. He saw the influence you would carry, the healing your voice would bring, the chains your presence would break, the elevation your obedience would unlock. And because he could not destroy the call, he tried to interfere with the carrier. You He used exhaustion to make you question your strength. He used loneliness to make you question your worth. He used delay to make you question God's timing. But what he forgot is that chosen ones are shaped by the very storms sent to silence them. And hear this with clarity. The pressure you endured was permitted because it strengthened the spiritual muscle necessary for the abundance ahead. God never allowed anything to reach you that would break you beyond repair. He allowed only what would refine, stretch, and prepare you. Just as Joseph had to pass through betrayal before entering the palace, just as David faced giants before being crowned, just as Ruth walked through loss before stepping into legacy, your journey has been sculpted for a season of divine reversal, where what was withheld will be returned with interest. Look at how your spirit has changed. You no longer fall apart at the first sign of resistance. You no longer cling to people just because they feel familiar. You no longer chase what drains you. Your discernment is sharper. Your peace is stronger. Your boundaries are sacred. This is proof you are being prepared for something larger than your past could have held. Heaven has been elevating your inner structure so that when the blessing arrives, it finds a vessel capable of carrying it without collapsing. Chosen one, your isolation was not abandonment, it was insulation. God separated you to protect the purity of the calling inside you. Certain voices would have polluted your purpose. Certain environments would have poisoned your vision. Certain relationships would have strangled the growth heaven was developing. You felt rejected, but in truth you were redirected. You felt forgotten, but in truth you were hidden under divine covering. You felt delayed, but in truth God was perfecting the timing so that your elevation would be undeniable, unstoppable, and unmistakably supernatural. Beloved, have you noticed how your desires have changed? How your spirit longs for deeper alignment, clearer purpose, cleaner relationships, stronger truth? This is the evidence that God is shifting you from surviving to stewarding, from hoping to possessing, from wandering to walking in divine certainty. You are entering a season where your decisions will no longer be driven by fear or scarcity, but by wisdom, confidence, and a wealth mindset rooted in faith rather than anxiety. Heaven is equipping you to handle increase without losing your center. There is something else rising. Your sensitivity to spiritual signals has intensified. You feel when something is off before it manifests. You sense red flags in people's energy even when their words sound pure. You notice divine nudges in moments that seem ordinary. This spiritual sharpness is not accidental. It is an anointing. God is preparing you for assignments that require accuracy, not emotional impulse, not external validation, but holy precision. Chosen one, I want you to reflect for a moment on how many times you almost settled, how many times you nearly accepted less, how many times exhaustion tempted you to choose comfort over calling. Yet you didn't. Something in you kept resisting the places that could not carry your destiny. Something in you refused to shrink, refused to surrender, refused to forget the whisper of purpose that has followed you since childhood. That something was the Spirit of God pulling you forward even when everything around you tried to pull you back. And beloved soul, as you breathe through this moment, if your heart feels the truth of these words resonating in a place deeper than emotion, I invite you to leave a declaration in the comments. I choose destiny. Let it rise like a flame in the unseen, a sign that you recognize heaven's hand on your story and you are ready to walk in alignment with it. Stay close. The next revelation will peel back the mystery behind the connections God removed, the cycles He broke, and the sudden shifts that marked the turning of your season. Chosen one, stay in this flow, because heaven is still unfolding truths that have been waiting for the right hour to reach you. What is rising now will speak directly to the shifts in your relationships, the unexpected endings, the sudden distance that you didn't understand at the time. There were people, places and patterns that felt stable for a season, but then, almost without warning, the connection thinned, the energy changed, the alignment dissolved. You questioned yourself. You wondered if you overreacted, if you misjudged, if you were too sensitive. But beloved, what you felt was not sensitivity. It was spiritual intelligence awakening inside you. There were individuals in your life whose intentions were not evil, but their presence was too small for the magnitude of your calling. Their vision could not stretch far enough to match yours. Their faith could not grow deep enough to walk beside you. Their emotional world was too fragile to handle the weight of the destiny you carry. God did not remove them to punish you. He removed them so your purpose wouldn't suffocate under the pressure of their limitations. And then there were those whose hearts were not aligned with yours at all, people whose words sounded soft, but whose motives were rooted in insecurity, envy, or quiet competition. Their energy created friction in your spirit, even when their faces wore kindness. They celebrated you publicly, but questioned you privately. They smiled with you, but felt threatened by your growth. You sensed it, not because they confessed it, but because your spirit picked up the dissonance their actions tried to hide. Heaven saw what you couldn't articulate, and God stepped in before their influence could fracture your peace. Beloved soul, this is why certain doors closed abruptly. This is why conversations that once flowed effortlessly suddenly felt strained. This is why people you wanted to love couldn't walk with you into your next chapter. Some were tied to your wounds, not your healing. Some were connected to your past self, not your transformed one. Some were attached to the version of you that didn't yet know your worth. And heaven could not allow them to shape your identity for the season you are entering. Chosen one, it is not a coincidence that you've been craving quieter spaces lately, that your heart has been urging you toward solitude, that your mind feels more at peace away from the noise. God is tuning your frequency. He is sharpening your discernment so you can feel the difference between genuine alignment and subtle manipulation, between divine connection and convenient company, between those who love your spirit and those who only loved your access. Pay close attention to this. The deeper your calling, the smaller your circle will become. Not because you are unlovable, but because your spirit is too valuable to be mishandled. God is not cutting people away. He is protecting the purity of your destiny. He is making sure your next elevation is supported by a foundation that won't collapse the moment pressure arrives. And beloved, think about how many times you tried to revive connections that no longer served you. How many times you apologized for boundaries that were necessary. How many times you lowered your voice so someone else wouldn't feel insecure. How many times you dimmed your light so someone else's shadow wouldn't feel exposed. Heaven watched it all. And when you wouldn't walk away, God gently, then firmly, separated what your heart was too loyal to release. The clarity you're stepping into now is not accidental. You're awakening into a stronger spiritual identity, one that can no longer tolerate half-truths, inconsistent energy, or the emotional weight of others projected onto your shoulders. This new clarity is a sign that your assignment is shifting. You are being prepared to carry influence that requires emotional stability, spiritual maturity, and relationships rooted in truth rather than convenience. Chosen one, take a breath and notice how your inner world has been reorganizing itself. Your spirit is quieter, but wiser. Your emotions are softer, but stronger. Your mind is more focused, more grounded, more aware. This is the work of heaven. This is the evidence that God has been reordering your life to make room for divine partnerships. People whose presence multiplies your peace, not drains it. Whose words align with your purpose, not diminish it. Whose spirits walk in the same direction as yours, not compete against it. And beloved, before we press deeper, I want to invite you into a moment of spiritual agreement. If your heart recognizes these shifts, if something inside you feels seen, understood, and confirmed, leave a simple declaration in the comments. Amen. Let it rise like a seal over everything heaven is awakening within you. Chosen one, stay with me. The next part will reveal why certain delays were necessary, why the timing has been so precise, and what heaven is positioning directly in front of you now. Chosen one, keep your spirit steady, because what we are stepping into now touches the core of why your path took the shape it did. The delays you wrestled with, the pauses that irritated your patience, the seasons that seemed to move in slow motion, none of them were accidental. Heaven has been calibrating your timeline with a precision your emotions could not yet appreciate. Every moment where you felt stuck was actually a moment where God was protecting you from stepping into something too small, too fragile, or too premature for the magnitude of your assignment. Beloved soul, you must understand something sacred. Divine timing is never about slowness. It is about alignment, and alignment requires preparation, protection, and positioning. The Lord did not withhold blessings from you. He withheld you from environments that would have smothered the blessing. Your spirit was being refined so that when the breakthrough arrived, you would not sabotage it with old wounds, old fears, or old habits that once kept you trapped in cycles of almost but not quite. Think about how many times you prayed for acceleration, not knowing acceleration without foundation leads to collapse. You asked for open doors, but heaven saw the enemies standing on the other side. You begged for relationships to last, but heaven saw the pain tied to staying connected. You questioned why your progress paused, but heaven was rearranging the landscape before inviting you to walk forward. What felt like delay was actually divine strategy. Chosen one, look back with spiritual eyes. The timing that frustrated you was the same timing that protected you. The job you didn't get would have drained your peace. The person who didn't choose you would have wounded your purpose. The opportunity that slipped away would have locked you into a place you were never meant to remain. Heaven was not holding you back. Heaven was holding you safe. And beloved, your spirit felt the tension of this waiting. That tension was not impatience. It was the stretching necessary for your expansion. You have been growing faster than your surroundings, outgrowing patterns, mindsets, and even identities that once felt familiar. God could not rush what He was building in you because what He is preparing to rest on your life requires depth, endurance, and a soul that moves with clarity, not confusion. This is why the atmosphere around you has felt unsettled. This is why your spirit has been urging you to step lighter, to speak with intention, to choose with discernment. Heaven has been guiding you toward a future that holds more than blessings. It holds responsibility, influence, and authority. You are being positioned for assignments that require spiritual awareness, emotional steadiness, and a heart grounded in truth. Beloved soul, consider the quiet signs that your season was shifting long before you realized it. You began losing interest in what once excited you. You started valuing silence more than noise. Your dreams grew bolder, yet your circle grew smaller. You found yourself craving peace instead of approval. These were not personality changes. They were prophetic signals. They marked the end of one spiritual chapter and the beginning of another. And chosen one, the reason the pressure intensified before the shift is because you were nearing the threshold. Just like the final moments before birth, the spiritual contraction becomes stronger, tighter, more overwhelming. Not to break you, but to push you into the next dimension. That heaviness you felt was not a warning of collapse. It was the sign of emergence. Now hear this with your whole heart. You're stepping into a time where what once resisted you will begin to make way for you. Obstacles that seemed immovable will loosen. Situations that felt stagnant will suddenly evolve. Conversations that were delayed will surface at the perfect moment. The atmosphere that once drained you will begin to shift in your favor. Your steps will no longer feel hesitant, they will feel guided. And, beloved, pause for a breath. If this resonates in a place deeper than thought, If something in you feels lifted or seen, leave a declaration in the comments. 777. Let it be the signal that you are ready to walk in the flow of divine timing, not human pressure. Chosen one, stay with me. The next part will reveal what heaven has been preparing behind the curtain, what is coming toward you now, and why it is far bigger than anything you ever expected. Chosen one, stay close, because what heaven is unveiling now reaches into the deepest architecture of your destiny. Everything you have walked through, every strange pause, every sudden shift, every moment where life felt like it was rearranging itself around you, none of it was random. You have been standing at the intersection of the seen and unseen, where God has been constructing something that your natural eyes were not yet permitted to witness, but now the veil is thinning and the truth is beginning to rise. Beloved soul, you have been sensing something approaching, a heaviness that felt like anticipation, a quiet stirring that lived beneath your ribs, a sense of transition that you couldn't describe, only feel. This was not anxiety. This was not imagination. This was spiritual inheritance drawing near. Heaven has been forming the next chapter of your life in silence, and the pressure you've felt has been the weight of what is coming toward you. Look at your recent thoughts. Increased clarity. New ideas arriving at unexpected hours. Strategies forming out of nowhere. A rising courage to pursue what once intimidated you. These are indicators that the Spirit is awakening the builder inside you. For too long, you lived in survival mode, putting out emotional fires, carrying burdens that were never yours, shrinking to make others feel safe. But now heaven is calling the leader forward, the creator, the visionary, the steward, the chosen one who carries a divine assignment. Chosen one, there is a reason you feel like you can no longer tolerate anything out of alignment with your purpose. Mediocre conversations drain you. Small thinking irritates your spirit. Half-committed connections feel heavier than ever. You're not being difficult. You're being elevated. You're not losing your patience. You're losing your tolerance for anything that contradicts what God placed inside you. As your destiny expands, your standards must rise with it. This is why heaven separated you from certain environments, places that no longer carried the frequency of your calling, circles that no longer matched the vibration of your spirit, people whose energy shifted every time God lifted you just a little higher. They couldn't go where you're going because the room you are stepping into requires authenticity, stability, and spiritual maturity. Beloved, your spirit has been craving truth, not flattery, not entertainment. Truth. That longing is a sign that you are entering a season where God reveals not only what He is about to bless you with, but what He is about to entrust you with. Your life is not simply being transformed. It is being positioned. Positioned for influence. Positioned for impact. Positioned for abundance that is not merely financial, but emotional, relational, spiritual, and generational. And still there is something deeper heaven wants you to understand. The battles you fought were not just about what you would receive. They were about who you would become. God was shaping you into someone who can carry blessing without bending under pressure, someone who can walk in authority without losing compassion, someone who can stand on elevated ground without forgetting the valley they survived. Chosen one, heaven has watched you grow, watched you break cycles, watched you confront shadows, watched you choose truth over comfort, healing over numbness, growth over familiarity. Every time you chose integrity when shortcuts tempted you, every time you forgave when bitterness tried to claim you, every time you moved forward even when your heart was tired, heaven recorded it. And because of that, something monumental is approaching you now. You have felt the tremors, you have sensed the foreshadowing, you have noticed how the spiritual atmosphere around you has thickened, how silence feels heavier, how your dreams have become more vivid, how your intuition has sharpened like a blade. These are not coincidences. These are the signs of an approaching release, one that has been written in the heavenly realms long before you ever cried your first tear. Beloved soul, take a slow breath. If your spirit feels that rising heat, if you can sense something shifting even as you read this, leave a declaration in the comments. I'm ready. Let it stand as your agreement, your alignment, your yes to what heaven has begun to unfold. Chosen one, stay with me. The next layer will reveal what exactly is being released, why heaven accelerated your preparation, and why this moment carries more weight than you ever imagined. Chosen one, hold your spirit steady, because what is approaching you now is not merely a blessing. It is a divine unveiling that has been in motion long before you understood the scale of your calling. There is a shift gathering behind you like a rising tide, something too vast to be contained in your previous seasons, something too weighty to be carried by the version of you that once felt unworthy, exhausted, or uncertain. Heaven has been waiting for this moment, and whether you realize it or not, you have been stepping toward it with every prayer, every tear, every act of resilience that heaven counted when no one else saw. Beloved soul, listen closely. The miracle coming toward you is not random, it is not sudden, it is not accidental, it is structured, architected, and orchestrated. God has been preparing this release with the precision of a master builder. Every spiritual discomfort, every internal unraveling, every unexpected ending has been chiseling away the parts of you that could not carry what is being placed into your hands next. And yes, there is something being placed into your hands. You have sensed it, the quiet urge to prepare without knowing why. The instinct to clean your space, rearrange your routines, cut old ties, tighten your boundaries, and step back from what once drained you. These impulses were not mood swings. They were prophetic indicators. Heaven was pushing you into a posture of readiness for a blessing engineered specifically for your destiny. Chosen one, you have been stepping out of old cycles not because you forced yourself to, but because your spirit outgrew the rooms you once shrank yourself to fit into. The internal stretching, the sudden need for clarity, the deep craving for alignment, the restless desire to rise. These were the first ripples of the breakthrough that is now nearing your doorstep. And hear this with the full weight of truth. What is coming will not resemble what you lost. It will exceed it. It will surpass it. It will dwarf the pain that preceded it. God is not returning you to where you were. He is elevating you into where you were always meant to be. Beloved soul, there have been whispers in the spiritual atmosphere around your life. Signs that the unseen realm has been working on your behalf with urgency. Increased intuition, the feeling of being watched over, the sense that something is shifting even when everything looks still. You have felt the echo of destiny brushing against your awareness because your life is entering a zone of divine acceleration. Heaven is compressing timelines that once felt unbearably long. What should have taken years will unfold in months, weeks, or even moments. This is why new strength has been rising inside you, strength that feels foreign yet strangely familiar. You wake with a sense of purpose you cannot explain. You sense momentum even on quiet days. You feel guided even without full instructions. This is spiritual alignment. This is destiny anchoring itself to your reality. This is the Holy Spirit preparing you to receive what was once withheld until your spirit matured enough to handle it. Chosen one, let me speak plainly. The blessing coming toward you requires the healed version of you, the awakened version, the empowered version. And that is exactly who you have become. The version of you who doubted your worth could not have carried it. The version of you who tolerated disrespect could not have protected it. The version of you who feared change could not have stewarded it. The version of you who operated from lack could not have multiplied it. But now heaven sees a vessel ready, steady, sharpened, strengthened, aligned. Beloved, Pause here with intention. If what you're feeling inside your chest right now is a rising, a burning, a trembling, a holy awareness, respond to it. Let your spirit speak before your mind catches up. Leave a declaration in the comments. I rise in purpose. Let it be the echo heaven hears as it prepares to seal the next phase of your destiny. Chosen one, stay with me. The next revelation will finally name the magnitude of what is approaching you and why God says this is far bigger than anything you've realized. Chosen one, stay anchored in this moment, because what heaven is revealing now is the layer that ties every sign, every struggle, every shift together. For so long, you carried questions that had no language. Questions about why your journey felt heavier than others, why your breakthroughs seemed delayed, why you often had to walk alone even when your heart longed for companionship. You thought something was wrong with you. But beloved, nothing was ever wrong with you. You were being shaped for something that required a level of strength, purity, and clarity that few are willing to cultivate. Beloved soul, hear this truth that has been echoing in the unseen. Your calling is not common. Your assignment is not ordinary. Your destiny carries weight, and anything that carries weight must be forged with intention. This is why God placed you in seasons that forced you to confront your own depths. Seasons where you had to grow without applause, believe without proof, heal without closure, and rise without anyone to steady your shoulders. This was divine training. You were being formed into someone who does not crumble when the spiritual atmosphere shifts. Someone who can walk into new territories without losing identity. Someone who can carry abundance without sacrificing integrity. Look back, chosen one, and notice something powerful. Every time life tried to break you, you didn't stay broken. Every time someone tried to diminish you, you expanded. Every time a door shut, you evolved. Every time you lost something, heaven replaced it with wisdom. And that wisdom is the foundation of what comes next. Because, beloved, what is approaching you now is not merely a season, it is a spiritual elevation that touches every dimension of your life. This is why your dreams have become more vivid. This is why your discernment has become sharper. This is why your heart outgrew spaces that once felt like home. Heaven has been preparing you for an influx of clarity, direction, opportunities, and divine partnerships that require a version of you fully awake. Chosen one, let me speak into the deepest part of your spirit. The blessing coming toward you is not small. It is not symbolic. It is not halfway. It is complete, saturated with purpose, wrapped in divine timing, and released with your name etched into its design. You are entering a realm where your intuition will speak louder than your fear. Your purpose will guide your decisions with precision. Your finances will stabilize as divine strategy awakens. Your relationships will align with your spiritual identity. Your inner world will match the peace God promised you. This is not theory. This is unfolding. Beloved soul, you have noticed how heaven has been amplifying your sensitivity to spiritual signals. Strange timings, sudden clarity, people revealing their motives without realizing it. Situations exposing themselves effortlessly. This is because God has moved you into a higher frequency, one where deception cannot survive, where confusion dissolves, where destiny becomes visible. And chosen one, the reason everything has been intensifying is because you are standing inches away from the threshold of one of the most significant breakthroughs of your life. Heaven has been gathering the pieces, aligning the moments, preparing the atmosphere. What once felt impossible is now arranging itself around you, waiting for your spirit to recognize it. Before we go deeper into the next revelation, before heaven unveils the magnitude of what is about to enter your life, I want to invite you into alignment. If your spirit feels the truth rising inside you, leave a declaration in the comments. I walk in my calling. Let it be the sound of your agreement. the vibration of your readiness. Chosen one, stay with me. What comes next is the unveiling of why God says this is bigger than you realize, and what heaven has already set in motion on your behalf. Chosen one, take a breath and lean in, because what we are stepping into now is the sacred bridge between revelation and activation. Everything heaven has been unveiling over your life was never meant to stay as knowledge. It was meant to become motion, becoming the rhythm of your choices, the structure of your days, the alignment of your spirit with the path God has already carved for you. You are not just hearing a message, you are being ushered into a way of living that matches the magnitude of your calling. Beloved soul, this next season of your life will not be built by wishing, waiting, or wondering. It will be shaped by intention, holy intention, flowing from the place inside you that heaven has spent months, even years, fortifying. God is not asking you to run. He is asking you to align, to step into rhythms that stabilize your spirit, cleanse your atmosphere, sharpen your discernment, and prepare you to hold the abundance that is approaching with accelerated force. And hear this clearly.